Hi everyone, I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and today we're going to play around with some natural food colorings. These Nature's Palette Easter egg dye kits contain some dyes that are made from vegetable juice and plant extract. And if these can be used to dye Easter eggs, will they add any color onto yarn? Here on the channel, we have had success dyeing yarn with supermarket dyes using no mordants. So I just want to give this a shot and see if we will see anything on the yarn or not. Let's open up one of these kits and see what's inside. Okay, I'm just going for it. We've got, oh, these are some stickers for some resist. That's why it doesn't look like anything. And then we've got one of those little like egg spoons, and then we have 4 colors. Oh, I assumed when I saw these kinds of things on the kit that these would be liquid dyes, but they're actually powder dyes. That's going to be a little more fun for us to play with on our yarn. And they really don't tell us what is in there except for the color that we are supposed to get. As for the ingredients, it says there's vegetable juice, citric acid. Yeah, so we really don't know what is present in here. So we don't know what types of food coloring or vegetables were used. I'm assuming likely some beet juice for the red, but it's sort of purpley. So we'll see if anything happens on the yarn at all. I think we'll start off with one kit and sort of see where it takes us. But I do want to add that just because you see a really pretty flower or a really bright green leaf and then you try to extract color from it, you're not necessarily going to get that exact color onto yarn. If that were the case, getting reds and blues and greens would be significantly easier. There's a reason why there's a lot of browns and yellows in historic clothing. So not only is the color that you might get in a juice not something that would translate onto the yarn, but some molecules are more stable than others, and so you might see something that looks really pink at first, but then it'll fade to a brown right out as the yarn dries. So we're going to see what we can get with this. To give us the best chance of getting some color from these vegetable extracts, we are going to use Knit Picks Stroll Fingering Weight yarn. This yarn is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and it has been extremely successful at absorbing some natural colors from, say, black beans and onions, even without mordant. And sometimes 100% wool or cotton doesn't necessarily absorb color as well. So if we don't see a lot on this yarn, you know, that will say something huge. However, we won't know until we give it a shot, and I'm really excited to try. Right now I am pre-soaking this 100 grams of yarn in just some plain tap water. If you'd like to learn more about the yarn base, you can find my affiliate link in the video description. I emptied the food coloring into some cups before we got started, so that way we could see what the colors look like, and then so that way I can sprinkle it on top of our yarn. I'd say the blue looks very purple to me, the green looks gray, the yellow is yellowish, and then the purple looks very red. I wish we had a little more information about the different vegetables used, but let's go dye the yarn and see. In the steam pan I have 8 cups of water, and the whole way over here I've been sort of chanting vinegar, no vinegar, vinegar, no vinegar, vinegar, no vinegar. I honestly cannot decide what I would like to do here. And I think part of the reason for some of this indecision is that I'm not sure if we're going to see a lot here, and I don't know if vinegar is going to make a difference. Oh goodness. Okay, let's Alright, when I did the Colors of Nature video using food coloring that had spirulina, turmeric, and beet juice, I did use vinegar, and we got some great yellows and pinks. So let's go ahead and add, say, 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. This way, we are acidic. It's not a ton of acid, but just sort of mixing things up and then spreading the yarn back out a bit. I do have things twisted over in places, but it's a little intentional, but we'll see what happens. I'm not planning on not touching the yarn once I add the dye. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm not expecting much, but you never know until you try. The dye bath is now hot, and so let's start sprinkling on these dyes. I didn't pre-mix the powders, but I'm also not necessarily going for speckles, but let's just start sort of adding these onto the yarn. And I'm not even gonna do all of it. We're just gonna do a bit at first, just to see if it looks like anything is absorbing. I'm gonna go ahead and do the red at one end and the yellow at another, because those are the 2 colors I expect to actually do something. Especially if this is, say, like turmeric or something, and if the other end is beet juice. The odds of something happening with these colors, I think, are greater than maybe some of the others. But, you know, I think we should be able to tell pretty quickly if we are seeing like color spread, or if we are seeing something that looks like speckles remaining from these colors. And whoops, I had a dusting of that pink color, which they're calling purple, in the middle. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little more of the yellow onto here. Okay. Now my hands are now covered in powder. So I'm gonna wash them before we do the next 2 colors. My hands are mostly dry. Let's try for this green color. And this green is really looking sort of gray. Will it look green when I put it on? Oh my! There's green and something red in here. I'm impressed. Oh, nope. Okay, so when it first dissolved, it looked a little green. And then, like, the powder itself looked green. But it's now looking really, really red. I don't know what about this is supposed to be green. Maybe there's some yellow in there as well. That's just funny. All right, let's try the blue, which is looking purple. Whoa. How is that supposed to be blue? You know what? I have a hypothesis. There's acid in here. So this could be like red cabbage extract or something. And that's why maybe it looked blue, and now that it's added to the acid, is changing. And maybe the same thing with the one that's supposed to be green. The instructions for these do not say to add vinegar. I have a feeling that that might be the case, and that might be what we're seeing here, and why those colors like did nothing. Because I was like, oh yeah, that's blue. Nope, nope, that's purple. And this, I mean, there is no way you could call this green. There's just no way you could call it green, but it did look green for a second. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this sit for 5 minutes, and then we will see. While we're waiting for the time to be up, I mixed just the packet in a little bit of water, and we've got a little bit of like a marine blue or teal here from the green packet, and we've got more of a true blue from the one that's called blue. So clearly, whatever those 2 colors are pH sensitive, because we saw them shift when we added it to the yarn. And I think if I didn't have acid in here, we wouldn't have seen that shift. It's been 5 minutes, and so it looks like some of the yellow may have exhausted. I'm seeing a tinge of pink here on our quote green. I'm seeing some purple on our quote blue. And I mean, you can see back there that we've got some pink with the pink. Clearly, we don't have speckles going on. I mean, maybe with the yellow. Is it moving if I shimmy it? Maybe we have some speckling with the yellow, but overall, like, this is not, you know, the colors are spreading. It's not like they're striking super, super fast. But let's go ahead and add more of these colors. I mean, I've got them in the cups anyway, right? Let's just go ahead and add some more color. So here is our blue. Just to show, I poured that in. Okay, why are you looking blue in that spot? Why aren't you turning pink? There we go. See, if I tap it, it turns pink. Let's try this with the green. That one happened a little faster. A little color changing magic. But even so, like, there's something pink in that green mixture, at least something that shifts pink. Man, I love color changing. All right, I'm not gonna worry as much about like using the glove to sprinkle the powder, and I'm just sort of gonna go for it. Of course. Just go for it. So that way we can see if we get anything. I think this was the green, this like gray looking thing. Haha! For a moment you see a little bit of green because it hasn't hit the acid yet. And then our yellow. And I'm now going to go ahead and mix these in a little bit here with this spoon. Although, I mean, it's not that much powder, and it does seem like this yellow just might be striking that fast. But now you can really see that pink sort of around here. Interesting. This one isn't wanting to dissolve really. And this blue is not much of anything at all. You can see like the yellow, even the green look pretty pigmented, but this blue, as we're putting it in, it's getting more and more sort of pastel. Maybe it's just because it's spreading so much. The pink has sort of a vibrancy to it, but again, I'm not sure if anything is going to stay in the yarn, or if it's all gonna just rinse out. But here, yeah, I have no idea. This yellow though seems to be striking pretty fast. All right, I shouldn't move things around too much. I think I'm gonna let this simmer for 20 minutes and we'll see what happens. As you can see, I really pumped up the heat for those last 10 minutes. But I'm now gonna turn off the heat and let's take a closer look. Again, I'm seeing a little bit of pink here, not very much at the yellow end. Some purpley color there, and a lot of pink down at the end. A lot of color down there. So, you know, are we seeing any color in the yarn? My prediction right now is maybe some yellow, maybe a little bit of pastel pink stain, but we won't know until we wash it. Now that the heat is off, I'm gonna leave this to sit for a couple of hours to cool off in contact with these dyes. And maybe we'll see something happen. I am, however, really excited that we found the pH sensitivity of some of these colors. I let our yarn just sit in the pan for 2 days. I'm not sure if that's going to make much of a difference, but it's giving things a reasonable shot to let the colors bind. Interestingly, it has soaked up a lot of the water. Let's see what happens when we just squeeze it out. So interestingly, it looks like we got a lot of the pinks out, but maybe there'll still be some behind. But we need to go wash it to find out. I am expecting to see a fair amount of color bleeding here. I think that's just a reasonable expectation. But ooh, the cold water is pretty cold, so I am going to increase it. And actually, that's not so bad. We're seeing some pinks come out, but we definitely, it's not like it's going white. Let's try adding some soap. And as we've talked about multiple times in this video, I have no idea what vegetable juices are in here. A number of natural products that you can use to dye fiber do in fact have some pH sensitivity. We've seen that in the red cabbage video and the black beans video. But wow, maybe we did get something here. Now, I can't speak to the longevity of these colors. Like, I don't know if we could expect them to last through multiple rinses or if they'll fade over time. But, that orange color is actually really, really nice. We are still seeing, well, it's hard to say if we're seeing color bleeding or if that's a little bit of greenish from the soap. I wonder what would have happened if we had not added vinegar to this. Because I think with the exception of the color that was listed blue, so it was the sort of second from the top, like I forget now what yeah, it looks like that blue one might be rinsing out more, but it's hard to say. I mean, guys, that's looking clear. Wow, we got a lot more color than we expected. All right, I'm gonna rinse this a few more times and then go hang it up to dry, but and we'll see if the colors shift at all. I mean, there is a tinge of maybe blue or green, which at this stage, I should have used clear dish soap. It's definitely not the soap. It could be something now that the water is neutral coming out, but I mean, there's color in the yarn. So we'll see if this color changes a bit as it dries. But, man, I'm impressed. Well, it looks like of the 4 colors that we had in this packet, 4 colors of mixed mystery vegetable powder, 3 of them were able to dye the yarn. The one that we used in here didn't. But we maybe have a tinge of color. It's unsure if this one spread or what, but we got something. And these pigments, at least the middle 2 that we checked, are pH sensitive. We saw the colors, I was like, ooh, that's blue, ooh, that's green. Nope, those were yellow and pink as soon as they dissolved in the acidic condition. So it could be interesting to try this out again with a more neutral pH, or to even use this on with some mordants to see if we can intensify or shift the colors. That being said, not every color that you can extract from, a plant or a flower will result in dyeing your yarn. Different colored molecules will degrade over time. Some of them just will not interact with fiber at all. So there's a reason why from a lot of things we pull, you can get a lot of yellows and browns out of colors from nature. But this pink is really kind of exciting. So what do you think? We clearly did not get the colors on the yarn that were advertised on this box. nowhere even, well, I guess this pink is sort of close to that purple there. But otherwise, you know, there's no hint of some of these other shades. We got much more of an orange than this sort of yellow color that they show on the box. But either way, we were able to dye our yarn. Now, how long lasting this color is, that I don't know. It's possible that it'll fade over time, but I dyed this last week and, you know, we still are seeing a pink and a yellow in the yarn. I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to just subscribe, like, turn on notifications. Make sure that you never miss a new dyeing experiment. If you would like to support our channel, one really easy and fun way to do that is to check out the ChemKnits Creations Etsy store. In this shop, I list the yarn that I have dyed in past and upcoming ChemKnits Tutorials YouTube videos. So you can purchase the yarn, watch me dye that yarn, and in doing so, supporting everything that we do here. Thank you so much for watching.